Thank you for following along with another episode of Forgotten Gear Restorations. This time we're going to tackle some basic maintenance, which is to say a cap job and a major cleanup on a Musicman RD50. This one's a 1981 Revision E circuit if you care. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Hope this finds you well. Bye. All right, John, your Musicman 112 RD50 is just about complete. I'm just tying up some loose ends. So we've got your completed cap job. I upgraded the filtering there. We have some new bias filters. All of your op-amp sockets have been cleaned out thoroughly. You have a new 3-watt Zener diode sitting back over there. Let's see if I can zoom you in there. You see that guy in front of that little orange cap over here? That's the guy. That's what typically fails there and just brings these down. I will be checking and or adjusting bias. I love that this is one of the latter revisions. This one has the limiter circuit. It doesn't, it doesn't say overdrive or distortion. It says limiter, but it's the same thing. And I'll walk you through that bit as well. And that's about it. Oh yeah, so I did change out the hardware on the input jack. Let me get this moved over. I'm not sure if you can actually see, but yeah, you can get kind of a decent shot there. So it's no longer rusted. I'm going to remove these knobs and give the faceplate a really good cleaning. But she looks very nice. I wanted to see if I can capture a particular angle that might be helpful to illustrate something, so just stand by. And this is for you techie types out there, less consumer grade information. Let me see if I can get, what I'm trying to do is get light to come out of the barrel of this jack here, just so I can make an illustration. So you can probably see, let's see if this is better. It's actually better just to do it like this, isn't it? So if you look inside of the jack there, the barrel, you'll notice that it's quite corroded. Well, that's your ground. That contacts the sleeve of your plug. And if there's a layer of filth or corrosion in between that and the ground, then you have resistance or you have no connection whatsoever. So it's just a bad thing for your signal integrity. Enter a very soft brass brush. Your jacks are 0.25, a quarter of an inch. On the interior, just a smidge bigger. If you're going to do this, there's a few things that you need to be aware of. Let me try to get this thing to focus in. It's not going to do that today. Just tough tits, I guess. You don't want to get a 25 caliber brush. You will not be able to effectively use that. You want a 22 caliber brush. And that's going to be the thing you want. Or even a 20 caliber will be pretty handy. As the brushes, the bristles themselves run a little bit larger, so they can actually do some scrubbing. This will not damage the interior of your jack. And you're going to want to make sure that if you're going to do this, if you're going to do it, that the interior is clear and that you have fully discharged the amp. You're going to want to make sure of that. Because as you're passing this through, you're going to want to ensure that this is not becoming a ramrod. And you're not just wrecking components on the other side. So just have a look at some of the filth that will come out, and it's going to look like smoke. Watch this. It looks like smoke vapors just coming out on this end. And this is actually doing a great job of cleaning out the interior of this jack. And then if there's sufficient space, I'll pass it all the way through nearly and scrub off the tip connection as well. This is not going to remove the coating on the inside of these jacks, so it doesn't mean you can just ram it with reckless abandon. But you want to be, just in everything you do, you want to be intentional and use the least amount of force as possible. Don't be aggressive. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and clean off this front panel, and then we'll just take it from there. All right, so here's another opportunity, because this thing's in such good shape, to explore the possibility of just flipping these guys over and seeing if it's a little cleaner on the opposite side. So not so much. I'm going to see if I have some hardware that'll do a better job of highlighting how clean this thing actually is. So, well, let's see. I'm not quite certain. I don't have everything. Let's not be judgy. Oh, I do have a nice washer. So if all I have is a nice washer, then what am I going to do? Well, I'll just scrub the damn... Oh, look who's got it. All right. That makes me happy. I don't know why I have these, but I do, and that just makes me happy. So this is what it's going to get. Much nicer. So let me clean this guy off. I've just gone through and tightened up all the potentiometers and the jacks, and they were all loose to one degree or another. So update soon. All right. This is one of my favorite ways to clean the funk out. Usually I'll soak these in a warm, mild soapy solution. But sometimes as you go back in time with these old fender knobs, you don't want to risk removing that little bit of paint on the inside of these engravings. And this does a better job sometimes. Let's move it down this way. Probably get a better idea about how well this works. For me, the job's not finished, and then look at this one. Watch the difference this makes. The job's not finished until, look at that. Especially compared to this one. See? The job's not done until this is done. This is a contact point. And it's just part of what gives the user the experience of having something nice. Awesome. And this guy. Does such a good job. Just a simple toothbrush. That's all it takes. Awesome. I do hope you guys are having a good one out there. It's a hectic week. Off to my right, I have about 5 or 6 amps that are in limbo. They're in limbo waiting for parts. And thankfully, they're all arriving within the next 48 hours, so I can get these guys out the door, make some more space for some more fun projects. This is the 3rd or 4th Musicman I've had in as many weeks. It's just funny how they come. It's like seasonal stuff. There's always a season. There's always a season. There we go. That's it. And then you can also use this brush to get the margins of the bezels in the control panel, especially if you've waxed it and you want to get the little bit of dried residue out. But it's just little details like that that make a big difference. Stuff that, you know, on its own you wouldn't notice, but together it does make a difference. I feel like I'm quoting someone, but it's the truth. And then I can turn my attention to the rear panel, but before I do that, let me explain you something about the overdrive circuit. Alrighty, so here's the limiter circuit. Well, part of it anyway. I will grab a chopstick. This cap here forms a RC filter. It's what you would call a pre-emphasis filter. And what it does is it works along with series resistance from a previous or following stage to filter out frequencies. In this case, it's trying to filter out the harsh upper end frequencies because these particular diodes are very harsh when they clip. And you can see that there's just one diode here that's doing the clipping. So by going from clean to limiter channels, you're just completing that path to ground for the clipping to occur. And then in addition to that, there's channel switching that's actually going on, so you have access to the tone stack, the gain knob, and all that stuff. And that's basically it. What we can do here is we could remove this, put two red LEDs back to back to create softer clipping, something more tube-like, maybe a little more saturated. We can keep this one in place and then put that red LED in facing the opposite direction to create some asymmetrical clipping for a more tube-like response and better harmonics, more pleasing anyway. It'll help also shave some of that harshness off. And then what we can do is, before this point, we can create, let's just say right here, tied together at this particular node to ground, we can create like a shunt filter. So we can put like a 10K and 2.2 nanofarad cap in series, which would shave, the last time I did the calculation was like 7.2 kilohertz. And when I say shave it, I mean it would start to roll it off at that point. So it wouldn't be a hard wall there or a steep cutoff. It would just gradually roll it down. So, and would that filter the entire signal? No, because this would be in parallel. So it's only going to filter the signal that's getting clipped. So you're still going to have access to all that high-end and crispy stuff, but it's just not going to be clipped or create harshness. So, and that would also help to tighten up some of the flubbiness and what I perceive as flubby or looseness in the gain tone itself. So this is just one man's opinion. Maybe this will be a project for down the line. Maybe next time I get one of these, I'll do some experimenting. All right, can we just admit now that we like the way the control panel looks? With that new shiny hardware, it deserves to be there. Because really, having the oxidized stuff was kind of ruining the aesthetic, and it didn't really match. It kind of stuck out. So there it is. I'll get it reassembled for some final testing, and then we'll be happy, won't we? Yes. All right, John, let's get this going, buddy. I don't even know if this guitar's in tune, and I'm going to doubt that it is. Kinda. All right. Good enough for rock and roll. All right. Not an extensive or well-played demo forthcoming, but just proof of life stuff. And I have the foot switch here. Can't really see it. And I've gotten all of the buzz out of the reverb that I could. Reduce it by about 50%. That's guitar noise there. I believe you have a Jensen speaker in this. Very powerful, clean. Wow, so loud. Another beautiful sound in Musicman. I really like working on these amps. Man, if you can get a 112 RD50 at a decent price, I would just jump on it. They last forever.